106 on the version. New agenda. New item agenda. He's not, should be number 6. Or no.
Roman numeral 9.
9?
Yeah.
I forgot they they keep numbering them on the agenda.
Yeah, I'd sit there looking at them going, what number is it?
I'm thinking about the number I placed them on the agenda.
We will call the meeting to order. I am Stephanie Marchman, the Special Magistrate, and Mr. Summers, we'll go ahead and call your case first on the agenda and then take the rest of the cases in order. We'll go ahead and swear in the witnesses at this point. So, Mr. Summers, if you'll raise your right hand, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? And we'll allow the city to present their case first, and then I'll give you an opportunity to speak as well.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Case 112, we had a complaint come in about wood across windows on the front of the building. That complaint was on 6/22. Soon after, I think it was within a day, the actual house caught fire. The house was noticed, and on 8/4/2021, the property, actually 7/6/21, there was a re-inspection. That's when we noted the fire. 8/4/2021, there's been no improvement to the house. Since then, the house has been boarded up. The mail went out, was returned unclaimed. The property was posted. I have an affidavit of posting, and the photos show the house at the time of the actual display. And I have some current new photos of the house as of yesterday. Yeah, that's for that. The city is requesting that this house be repaired or condemned as far as demolishment at the owner's expense. The violations that were noted were 301-2 responsibility, 304-18-2 windows, 309-2 owner, 401-2 responsibility, and City Ordinance 22-171 purpose, and Ordinance number 22-172 applicability. That's what I have for you at this time, ma'am.
Ms. Jones, I'm sorry, in terms of the city's request, did you say condemn the building?
The house is either going to need to be repaired or demolished. It cannot sit in its current state.
And I do have a question. In terms of the windows being boarded up, because it looked like that was the first concern.
I spoke to Mr. Summers this morning. He'd been away. He said the person who lived there had done that to make it an office so the light didn't come through. But I let him know that unfortunately that at no time is that allowable within code.
Can you cite for me the particular provision in the code that prohibits that?
That is the openable windows, 2018-304-13. I apologize. The ones I read was the first notice. Let me restate these. 301-2 responsibility, 304-18-2 windows, 304-9-2 owner, 401-2 responsibility, 301-2 responsibility, 301-3 vacant structure land, 304-1 general unsafe structures, which is 304-11, exterior walls, 304.6, 304.7 roof and drainage. The question that you had was 304.13.2, 304.13. Then we have 304.5 for doors, 305.1 unsafe conditions, stairs and walking surfaces, 305.4, responsibility 401-2, and then again the city ordinances 22-171 purpose and 22-172 applicability.
So in terms of the particular code provision that just for the boarding up of the windows, is it the 304-18-2, which requires operable windows.
Correct. That was the initial violation.
Okay.
And now the house is actually all boarded up for safety reasons, which we understand. But for the blight concern, it has to be fixed or repaired or demolished. And at this time, it's unfit for human occupancy.
I'm not seeing in my file a second notice of violation. I'm just seeing the first, which was issued June 22nd.
I can get you a copy of that notice. It may have stuck to the copier when it was scanned.
Do you happen to have a copy there? That
Not with me presently.
Is there somebody that we can contact?
Actually, let me double check. I might have it right here. Unfortunately, we had to move our office because of mold. So some of the files are still in our office that we can't go in. No, I don't, but I can get you that on the computer.
All right. Mr. Summer, anything else, Ms. Jones?
I do have a photo where the second notice was posted. Fortunately, you can't read it. It's when we made the house unoccupiable, but I can get you a physical copy.
I mean, I think just because the condition changed after the first notice, because I think you mentioned that there was a fire.
Yes, all of his notices came back, returned unclaimed.
Mr. Summers, if you don't mind coming up to the microphone, is there anything that you'd like to say in response to Ms. Jones and the violations?
A little over a month and a half. I did not know about the violation nor about the windows. It was about 2.5 years prior to me purchasing the property. It turned it into, well, the main reason he had given me his but is he's got two kind of vicious dogs. One of them, when people walk by, when the people walk by, sniper or mark. So we put the doors up into an office where it was hard to see the monitors reading and everything. So we put OSD across the windows and stuff. That's not, to my knowledge, true to anything. But I wasn't unaware. Did know about the window outside was the safe. Screenshot. As far as the property itself, trying in the process right now, there's 3 homes on that piece of parcel, that parcel. And it's it's in the contract, top part. I'm trying to get it revised where I can sell that. It was either that or he had told me that he had spoken to somebody, I don't know who, but I could just turn that convert that into a shed. And that was my other work. I've got 5 pieces of property. The 2-story house, 442 Northwest Madison, 437 Northwest Northwest Madison, or 452 Northwest to 7, I'm sorry, 422 Northwest to 7, and 430 Northwest Madison. I was gonna convert that home into a shed for all my tools and stuff like that. So I was going to process it. Placing the window panes, glass from wood glass and replacing the window frame. So,
Right.
on the inside.
So I'll show you the photos that Ms. Jones provided me. It looks like she took those photos yesterday. Is that an accurate depiction of the structure on the property? And is it that you want to convert the structure to a shed? Am I understanding that right? And you can go back to the microphone. I just wanted to be sure.
Yes, ma'am. The plumbing has been demolished on the inside because of the fire, and the electrical started because without my permission, the tenant put 10 window units in the house. And after speaking after the fire, he said that after he installed the last window unit, there was a shed out back. It kept popping the breaker. So I'm assuming that's why the electrical fire started in the panel box. Needless to say, all of the wire that travels up the wall and halfway up into the attic is fried, it's gone. That would all have to be replaced. So the owner, the original owner, had told me that it would cost way more to rebuild the home than it would be than the house is actually worth. So that would brought me to the, well, maybe I should just turn it into a shed. I wouldn't have to worry about power, water, or anything like that. I would still, of course, replace the windows and everything for my personal safety, for the tools and all the equipment that would be inside.
Okay. Have you inquired with the city about whether a shed is permitted on that parcel?
I have not yet. I'm still trying to figure out if I'm able to break that parcel up because there's 2 other homes on that piece of property. If I can break it up to sell that and then just let somebody else, if they have the money to invest in that home, rebuild it or demolish it. I live paycheck to paycheck, so I don't at this moment have the funds and means to be able to stick any more money into it. I do know that I do have 2 other sheds, that one belongs to another tenant, or it was there. It doesn't actually belong to the tenant, but it's on 422 Northwest Madison. And then there's a shed in the middle of all of the properties. That's on the city website.
Ms. Jones, do you happen to know off the top of your head whether this home could be converted to a shed? I recall in the code that there was a requirement that a shed be accompanied by a residential
There is a
unit.
residential unit on the property in the back, as you mentioned, but I'm gonna revert it to Mr. Young.
Yes, he could, but it would have to meet the stipulations of being in the side or rear of the residential structure on the property, and could not have, bathrooms in it or anything like that, kitchen.
There wouldn't be any
Yeah.
power, water,
Yeah.
bathrooms or anything like that. It would just be
Um,
a shell, basically.
But it would have to meet the setback requirements, which as an accessory, you would be good because there it's only required 5 foot off the side and I think it's 15 off the rear. So, you'd be good there, more than likely. But like I said, it would have to be in the side yard or the rear
It
yard
would be
of
in the rear yard of the house. The other house faces the other street,
Okay,
goes from
okay.
street to street.
And as long as that's all one parcel, then that's allowable.
It's a multi.
Yeah, so if you break up the parcels and that one winds up on its own parcel, you could not have it as a shed.
Right. Well, if I'm allowed to have a shed, the city gives information, I wouldn't break up the parcels. So that was the other option. If I couldn't, then I would have to go to his properties and Tom and see if we can parcel it up and do it that way.
Okay.
Mr. Young, how long would it take if Mr. Summers were to apply for, presumably he'd have to apply for a permit to convert it to a shed?
Well, the permit would be for the repair of the electrical. So we could have, I imagine you want power in there.
Not really.
Okay, you're gonna have that disconnected also?
The power's gone. It melted the pole going up to the utility line. Utility line is completely gone and that will not come back.
Well, any damage that's on the structure now would have to be repaired then,
Yes,
you
yes.
know, type thing. That would be the permit.
Mr. Young, would you look at those pictures? There's significant damage to the front of that structure and possibly the roof.
Oh, yeah, I can see it.
Most of that's the vinyl siding that.
Yeah.
And that was because the heat that the fireman had told fire marshal said the heat that rolled and beveled.
Yeah,
In the
yeah.
attic, it melted the.
You'd have
vinyl
to-
siding would be removed.
Yeah, okay.
So am I hearing that Mr. Summers would be required to make enough repairs to at least bring this structure up to code as a shed?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Summers, how long do you think you would need to make those repairs just to bring it up to code to be used as a shed?
As far as cosmetics on the outside, couple weeks, easy, just be able to pull the vinyl down and stuff. Probably 2-3 days to replace the window pane. So, see, I would say maybe a month, 2 months tops. I have a maintenance man that's ready to pull the vinyl down.
Okay.
Mr. Summers does not live on the property. That would require a licensed
Licensed
contractor.
contractor to do that work.
Just to pull the vinyl siding off. Now, to help that contractor?
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you have a
Well,
contractor,
some of the labor
Yeah,
costs.
yeah.
That's what I'm asking.
and that's what I'm saying,
Just
you
be
know,
shady and say, okay, and then.
yeah.
Okay, so does the city have any objection to giving Mr. Summers 60 days to bring this property, to repair the property or demolish it if he so chooses at his cost?
No, no objection.
Is that fair, Mr. Summers?
Mr. Young, do you think you'll be able to obtain a contractor in 2 months though?
I'm hoping so. Contractors are hard to come by right now.
Well, I have a brother. He's from Gainesville, I'm not sure. Gainesville.
Okay.
Contractor can come.
He just has to be state
Yeah.
licensed.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's the owner of American
Okay.
Robert.
We'll make sure he has a residential contracting, not roofing, because a roofer can't work on these.
Well, he's a general contractor.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
If Mr. Summers is unable to meet this deadline, will we bring him back before me, or what happens if,
Yes, we would bring it back if he can't meet the deadline.
Mr. Summers, I'm going to issue an order finding that there were violations of the city code on your property and give you 60 days to repair or demolish the property at your cost. And then if that doesn't happen, you'll come back here before me. Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Ms. Jones? Ms.
She'll
Jones?
send you an order in the mail. And the,
And what is it?
that is correct.
143 Southwest.
Yep.
Dreamscape, that's one word. Dreamscape, DREAMSCAPE, Court. City Florida. 143.
right, got it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sullivan.
Thank you.
All right, 1 down, 10 to go.
We do have 3 that have been removed. If you'd like to cross them off.
Sure.
It is, Miss Paige Thompson, Lisa Paige Thompson, Wayne Levy, which is the next one, and under new business, Billy Francis.
All right, so we'll call up case number 14929.
This case is a case that was heard back in 2014. The property has not been maintained throughout the course of these last 7 years. The city is requesting to bring forth the order imposing administrative fine and leave to make it a lien. I have the green card that was submitted after I sent you the packet, and also the current photos. The property is partially clean, but has never been totally cleaned as the order originally stated. And the owners have never come forward to do anything on this property since the original order. So we are requesting that we move forward with the lien process.
Ms. Jones, when were these photos taken?
They were taken on the original date of 8/26. I'm sorry, those photos were yesterday, 9/8. I'm sorry, the photos in the packet were 8/6.
Would you want this green card back?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Okay, I'm a little confused because in this file, under this case, I have an order involving Lisa Paige Thompson.
That was the second one.
Oh, I see.
Sienna caught both of them. There should have been a separation sheet between the two. Just so orders. It's just a very small packet for him.
Okay.
We have the order, which is 3 pages, and then the photos, which I have the same packet you have.
I see.
Photos.
Okay.
We're adjusting to a new software called Unicode, so it's a little different for us.
And just to be clear, the lien. Is it this order that you're looking for, this order imposing an administrative fine?
Yes, ma'am, we would like to go ahead and pose that fine and start that lien process.
Okay, and just so I'm clear on what that order.
The original magistrate had ordered within 90 days. The owner was to take all necessary action, which was fixing the dilapidated rotting exterior siding or roof, and the overgrown weeds. None of that has been done, and within 90 days, he was given that task. And that has never occurred, and on the 90th day, she placed a $50 fine to start to accrue on the 91st day. In addition, $6.46 for the mail.
I'm confused again. So I'm seeing this order imposing an administrative fine already.
Is that for Mr. Lee? No, that's the next one. I'm sorry.
Well, we're
I
on
messed you up.
Luis Crusley,
I
right?
messed you up. I heard the wrong case. Let me start over.
Okay.
There we go. I had the wrong case for you.
Okay.
It's the same process, so I apologize. That's okay. It's an order imposing a fine that had started, and this fine is already in process. It started on 10/13 of 2014. It was recorded, and the city would like to go forward with foreclosing on this lien for Ms. Crosley. I do have a green card that was submitted for her.
Okay.
That's probably the one I handed to you.
So what do you need from me?
We just
Because
need
you
it on
already have-
record that we are moving forward with this lien process. Is that correct, Mr. Young?
Yes,
The process is you want her to hear this lien so that it's recorded in the magistrate records. And then we file for the foreclosure within 6 months.
yes,
Okay, so you don't need an order.
No, it just, you want it to be heard, correct?
correct.
We just have to serve the process so that the
We're
person.
trying to make sure we're meeting all of the requirements that we have to meet by law.
I apologize, Mr. Coberline changes stuff for us, so we try and keep up to date.
Okay,
And not to mention, I confuse myself sometimes.
okay, so you want to foreclose
Correct.
and you are just giving me notice.
Is there anything else that you wanted her to do with this, Mr. Young?
No, ma'am.
Right, you have given me notice.
The next case should be 2016-460, and that is also late. And Mr. Lee was ordered on December 8th to tear down the house.
I'm sorry.
Or, excuse me,
You're on case number 16460.
correct. Mr. Lee was ordered to repair the roof or the dilapidated structure and the exterior siding and mow the grass. That has never occurred. The house is in a very dilapidated state, as you can see from the picture, or what you can barely see from the pictures. The roof is falling in, and you cannot even get up close to the house to take an accurate photo of it because this is probably 10 feet of overbrush that's over 15 feet high. So the city would like to start the process, to start the lien, and in 6 months from now, be heard again to move forward with foreclosure. Is that correct, Mr. Young?
Yes.
So in this case, you would like me to issue an order imposing the administrative.
Correct.
Yes, ma'am.
Questions, when was the last time you were out at the property?
I actually was there yesterday, but the photo I took did not develop correctly when I went to print it. But the property is still in the same or worsening condition.
And then in terms of the fine itself, you're looking for what's set forth in the order, which is the $50.
And the postage.
And in terms of notice, the owner received notice?
Yes, ma'am, the green card was returned signed. I have that for the record, and I believe there's a photocopy there.
Okay, I will go ahead and issue the order opposing administrative fine of $50 a day plus postage going back to the 91st day of the issuance of the order.
Thank you.
The next case is 1562.
1562. This is Gem 2 LLC. This property has been uninhabitable for quite some time. There was an order that was put into place on 11/23/2015. There's been no improvement on the property since then. The magistrate at that time ordered that the violations be corrected, and those violations were trash, debris, garbage, grass, weeds, vacant structure with exterior walls and roof that needed maintenance and repair. And there was also an accessory structure that's in the back that you cannot see from the road, that at that time, now you can't see it from the road, at that time it was visible. There's been no improvement. She gave them 10 days from that date of that order. And on the 10th day, she asked for $150 worth of fines accruing on the 11th day. And also paying the postage if this had not come into compliance. So we're asking that this order become a lien. Since the property came into compliance, or excuse me, since the order went to you, I have the green card and I also have photos taken from yesterday. This is another structure that you can barely see.
aspects. I'm sorry, that's the same one.
They all look the same.
They do, they do.
Lot of greenery.
Wrong, they're hard to tell apart.
The structure is, this is the back side of the structure that I think they're trying to get the shed. It's, the whole entire area is in that condition. This is the front picture of the structure. It's a corner street. And here's another picture of the side street. And the rest is just really greenery, the overgrowth.
The green card was returned yesterday as delivered.
Yes, ma'am. The structure was posted and so was City Hall because I didn't have it back about 20 days prior to the case being heard.
So then in terms of the order imposing the administrative fine. Case. We are looking for $150 a day
Correct.
on the 11th day.
And $6.73 in postage.
Okay, well, I will issue the order imposing administrative fine, $50 a day from the 11th day that the order was issued in 2015. That's postage. Brings us to new business and case number 2198.
$21.98 is 296 Northwest Wright Lane. This is a house that has not been lived in quite some time. So there's been no movement. There's a car that's been there. On 6/11/2021 was the first initial inspection. The first notice went out for 3071 accumulation of trash, 3012 responsibility, 3013 vacant structural land, 3024 weeds, 3047 roof and drainage, 30411. And that is the chimney. 10811 unsafe structure and 110 general demolish. On 8/4, the structure was re-inspected and the property was not in any condition that had come into repair or any type of repairs being done. You have photos showing the deterioration at the first initial inspection. And I have photos from yesterday that show that there's been no repair or no improvements. Those were taken yesterday. And this property, the green card did come back, but it had also been noticed.
Came back as it's
It
received.
had came back signed. It was signed on 8/10/21.
Ms. Jones, are you aware of whether anybody's living there?
No one is living there. There hasn't been anyone living there for over 10 years.
Do you have any contact with the owner?
I had another case several years ago and the granddaughter had did some repairs and cleaned the property up. And then I was hoping she would contact me again when she got this letter and she had not.
At this time, due to the deterioration of the structure, the city would like to see it owner expense demolished within 2 months. And then a fine of $50 a day on the 61st day starting if the owner does not comply. And within 6 months, the city can demolish on their own at the owner's cost.
Okay, I'm going to issue an order as the city requested, requiring the owner to demolish the property within 60 days at their cost. After the 61st day, if there isn't compliance, $50 a day fine will begin to accrue. Within 6 months, if the property is not demolished, the city may proceed with demolition, which can then become a lien on the property.
Thank you. $21.97 is next, correct?
2197. Yes, ma'am.
On 6/11, the property was initially inspected. This property actually abuts the previous property. This is 301 Northwest Jefferson. There was overgrown debris, scattered broken windows, a vehicle carport that's damaged, falling down, structures not in good visible condition. The violations issued at that time was 301-3 vacant structures on land, 302-4 weeds, 304-1 general, 304.18.2 windows, 304.6 exterior walls, 302.8 motor vehicles, 10.1 demolition, 302.7 accessory structure and carport. The property was re-inspected on 8/4 with no improvements. And on 8/6, the property was posted. The owner's notices came back unclaimed. And the property was posted here at City Hall as well. And there's an affidavit of posting that I have for you, as well as pictures taken from yesterday for this physical site.
Have you had any contact with the owner, Ms. Jones?
No, I have not with this one.
Are you aware of whether the property is occupied?
It is not occupied.
I see in a photo, page 88, it looks like there's a vehicle in the carport.
That vehicle's been there for 4 or 5 years. This was a complaint from a citizen that had come in.
Has the city gone inside the home?
No, we have not.
Any idea what happened to the owner?
No, ma'am. A lot of these properties are vacated. No one knows where the owners went.
What is it the city's seeking?
The same as the previous order. Have the owner demolished in 2 months. If not demolished in 2 months, $50 fine on the 61st day. And the city demolish the structure at 6 months. If the owner doesn't, at the owner's cost.
Now, presumably, we've had this situation arise before. This city will go inside the structure before it demolishes to inspect the.
That would be Mr. Young's call.
Yes, ma'am. Once once we, receive the authority for demolition, then we can enter the house. Otherwise, we have to have a court order without the owner permission.
Okay, I will issue an order requiring the owner to demolish the property within 60 days. On the 61st day, a fine will accrue $50 a day if the demolition is not completed. Within 6 months of the structure is not demolished by the owner, the city may demolish the structure, which then will become a lien on the property. Great. Case number 2044.
This case, we had received a complaint back in 2020 regarding overgrowth. This is actually 2 lots, 586 North End, Montana, and a vacant parcel 1102500. Upon inspection, both lots were overgrown and the structure had broken windows. The violations issued were 3012 responsibility, 3041 general, 3413 windows, skylights, and doors, and 3024 weeds. No improvement was made throughout this time. 8-3, the property was re-inspected, no changes. On 8-6, the property was posted, and so was City Hall. I do have an affidavit for you and photos of the property that was taken, the 2 properties that were taken yesterday. This is the vacant lot, and this is a photo of the vacant lot along with the structure and a front photo of the structure. The city is requesting that the owner maintain the lot, mow the lot, fix any repairs that needed on the home within within a month. And that if they do not within a month, a $25 a day fine.
Was the green card received by the owner?
No, the property was posted with the affidavit I've shown it you. The mail came back unclaimed.
Have you had any contact with the owner?
No, I have not. The neighbor said that this property's been vacant for several years.
What about repairs to the structure?
The windows need to be fixed. The rest of the structure is in reasonable condition.
Okay, so in terms of the order sought by the city, it would be for the property to come into compliance by
1 month from today, this properties be mowed and permits obtained for the windows to be replaced or repaired.
and then on the 31st day, there's $25 a day fine.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I will issue an order requiring the owner to bring, mow the yard on both lots, and otherwise, and also repair or replace the windows, both of which need to occur within 30 days. If not, on the 31st day, a $25 a day fine will begin to accrue.
Thank you. We should be at our final case, 19246. This is 317 Northwest Indiana. The first inspection occurred on 8/26/2019. At that time, the property was issued violations of 3012 responsibility, 3013 vacant structures and land, 3024 weeds, 30413 window skylights and doors and frames, 30413-2 openable windows, 30418-1 doors, 3054 stairs and walking surfaces, Section 108 general IPMC unsafe structures, and Section 110 general demolition. The property, because I was away from code enforcement, that's why there's some lapse in time. But the property was re-inspected on 8/6/21, found with the same conditions, with the photos that you have. The green card has been returned as of last week. And as of yesterday, here is a front photo of the structure showing the overgrowth and no repairs, no improvements made to the property. The city would ask that within 2 months, the owners demolish the property. If not, within the 61st day, a fine of $50 a day accrue. And then within 6 months, the city will demolish at owner's cost.
Any contact with the owner, Ms. Jones?
No, I have not. The actual complaint came in from someone who was going to buy the property and let us know how deplorable it was. We have not been inside, but from what they told us, it was in a really bad shape.
Anybody occupying the property?
No, ma'am, it's owned by a tax lien company at this time.
How much time did you want to give them to demolish or remove the structure or repair it in accordance with the code?
To be inconsistent, 2 months to demolish at owner's expense and responsibility. On the 61st day, if they do not, a $50 fine. And within 6 months, if it has not come into compliance, the city to do a demo at the owner's cost. Mr. Young, was there something that we were supposed to include in these orders that Mr. Coverline advised you of, Coverline Senior? We had a conversation about this yesterday and you were going to bring it up.
It was wording to do with,
I'm trying to remember the wording.
Okay.
You'll send me, whatever wording you need.
Yes, ma'am. I will.
Be glad to take a look. So for, on this last case, I'll issue the same order.
okay,
Demolish or repair by the owner within 60 days. At their expense, 61st day, $50 fine, 6 months. If the property is not demolished or repaired, the city may demolish the property, cost of which will be a lien on the property. I actually had a couple of questions from you if we're done with the
yes, we are.
agenda. I think I sent you a note. I need to be out of town on our regular hearing time that entire week.
I don't think that's gonna be a problem, will it?
For other hearings.
Yes.
So I had proposed, I think, either the 7th.
I actually will be leaving the city next Friday, so there's a new code officer that will be hired, so there probably won't be a meeting next month.
Okay. I think you tried to do that before. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and take then that October 14th meeting off my calendar. Okay.
Are we done that we can close the video, Mr. Young?
Mhm.
Yes.
Matt, we're good. Mr. Young had some questions for you.
Yes,